In the name of Allah, the entirely of merciful, the especially of merciful. Today, inshallah, we're gonna discuss a new lesson from Mega Goal 6 and the second semester with me. I'm teacher Sami. Let's begin. Our lesson today is talking about revision. So we will make a revision for whole curriculum, inshallah. The objectives for our lesson today have 3 points. So number 1, we will discuss the conversation and real talk from unit 1 to 6. So according to this conversation, how many real talks we have? We have 6, so we will discuss it all. Number 2, exercises from workbook related to conversation tasks from unit 1 to 3. This is on slide 2. And on slide 3, inshallah, we will practice exercises from workbook related to conversation tasks from unit 4 to 6. Ready? Let's begin to see what we have on slide 1. Okay, at first, let me give some information about the conversation and why we have a conversation section in our curriculum. So conversation section conceptualizes the language as it's used in everyday situations. This is the elements for conversation in our book. Number 2, it's accompanied by the real talk features that develops vocabulary and everyday expressions. Number 3, the conversation also includes functional language. As what this functional language? For example, we have the language for greeting and disagreeing and changing topics, expressing thanks, expressing surprise, and making suggestion or complimenting. And the most important things that from our real talk today is the point. Look at this point carefully. These are informal words and expressions suitable for use in a casual speech, but not in writing. So through these points, we can analyze that real talk. We can use it in a casual speech, but it doesn't allow. We can use it on writing tasks. Okay, are you ready for begin? Let's begin. From unit 1, everyone makes mistakes. We found 5 real talks belongs to that conversation between Fatima and Hamda. So number 1, we have no big deal. No big deal, which means not something of great importance. So Fatima says this, meaning that she is not upset that Hamda forgot her graduation. This may not be true, but Fatima doesn't want Hamda to feel bad. So if you want someone not feel bad, you can using that word no big deal. Number 2, slip one's mind, which means forget about something. So from this conversation or that dialogue between Fatima and Hamda, Hamda says that, meaning that she knew about Fatima's graduation, but some who forgot about at the last minute. And number 3, make too much of something, which means exaggerate the importance of something. So Fatima says this, meaning that it is not important enough for Hamda to keep apologizing for. And the last word, before the last, don't sweat it, which means don't worry about it. So Fatima says this, meaning that she doesn't want Hamda to talk or worry about it anymore. And the last word is flake. Flake, it means irreasonable person. So flake Hamda says this, meaning that she feels dumb for not remembering Fatima's graduation. Okay, according to this dialogue, we found that we have, we know a new real talk that we can use it in casual. If you want to speak with someone, if you want to using through casual, you can, it's available or fit, you can use it. But through your writing tasks, it's not allowed to use it. Okay, from unit 2, we have against the odd. This is the title for our second unit. We have a real talk, and inside this real talk, we have 3 words. Iffy, which means uncertain. So Evie is a derivative of F. So when we join this to Evie with F, we found Evie is a derivative of it, meaning uncertain or doubtful or questionable. For example, for it, the weather is heavy today. What they mean by heavy today, which means it may be rain, but maybe not. That is the meaning of heavy. Number 2, we have break, significant, opportunity. So break is elect or provide an additional. For example, the author got his lucky break when an agent read his book. Okay, number 3, on cloud 9. What we will mean by on cloud 9? Which means extremely happy. And number 4, freak someone out. That means to shock or disoriented someone. Okay. Also we have beat around the bush, by far, fit to be tied, did a double take, and below them away on the house. Through this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we recognize that it have a simple meaning. Let we discuss it one by one. So number 1, beat around the bush, which means speak indirectly. By far, by very much, obviously. And fit to be tied, which means very angry. Did a double take, looked again in surprise at someone or something. Below them away, which means really impress them. And on the house, which means free. So why was Ahmed on cloud 9? So what do you think? That's belong for the previous slide. So he was accepted that at the college. For example, for it, how can I use this on 9 cloud? Or on cloud 9, we can use it as I was on cloud 9 when I got the exam results, which means that he is so happy. Question 2. What is freaking Fahad out? So according to this dialogue between Ahmed and Fahad, we can ask that question because we're finding out about all of the consequences between himself and Ahmed. For example, I was freaked out to discover that we had enrolled in all of the same classes at the same college. Okay, beat around the bush. What we will mean by that? From the dialogue between Sophia and her friend Anna, we found Sophia says this, meaning that she is going to get right to the point and tell the manager how she feels. Okay, the second one, by far. How do you using that word? So Sophia says this, meaning that her haircut is without a doubt the worst she has ever had. Number 3, fit to be tied, which means very angry. So Sophia says this, meaning that she is very mad that the stylist didn't cut her hair the way she had asked. Okay, did a double take. What they mean by did a double take, which means looked again in surprise at someone or something. So Anna says this, meaning that when she saw Sophia with her new haircut, and she looked away and then back again in surprise at how she looked. Below them away, which means really impress them. So Anna says this, meaning that Sophia's families and friends will be amazing at how good Sophia's hair looks. And on the house, which means free. So Anna says this, meaning that Sophia can have her hair styled for free if she is still unhappy after a week. This is what we have on Unit 3, beauty is only skin deep. So we have 6 words through real talk. And we applied some examples according to that dialogue. Okay, in Unit 4, what we have? The title of it is They Said, We Said. So according this dialogue between Farah and her friend Susan, we found that 6 words we can use it through real talk. Number 1, split up, which means stopped being friends. On again, off again, which means something that is not stable. For good, which means permanently. Behind someone's back, which means without someone knowing. And backstepper, which means a person who says bad things about another. Person behind his or her back, you turn bad mouth. What is the meaning of it? To criticize someone to another people. Let's discuss it one by one. So split up, which means, or Farah said that, says this meaning that Ila and Susan are not friends anymore. And on again, off again, which means that something that is not suitable. Anna says this to describe Ella and Susan's friendship, meaning that they often split up and then become friends again. Okay, what about for good? For good, which means permanently. So Farah says this, meaning that this is the time Ella and Susan will not be friends again. Okay, let's complete. Behind her back, which means without someone knowing. So Farah says this, meaning that Susan has been talking about Ella without her knowing. So backstepper, Anna says this, meaning that Stucky said unkind things about Susan when she was supposed to be Susan's best friend. And what's the meaning of it? We can say it's a person who says bad things about another. And you know this is not a good in our Islam religion, so we can't do that things. Bad mouth, Anna says this, meaning that Sticky said bad and untrue things about Susan to Ella. So which means that she said, or she says that a bad words for her friend. Okay, now we will transfer for Unit 5. And according to that title, Express Yourself, we found that real talk, 5 words belong to Jason and his friend dialogue. So, jam-packed, which means very crowded. How we can use that word? So, through that dialogue, jam-packed, Jason says this, meaning that the restaurant is full to capacity with people. So point out that this expression is also a verb. We can use it as a verb also. For example, say I packed my backpack with box. Number 2, el blew one's away, which means makes one away throw. Okay, what belongs for this through this dialogue? So we can say that Badr says this, meaning that he had to push his way through the crowd of people in the order to move. Munches, which means crunchy junk foods. So Badr says this, the meaning snacks foods such as potato chips, popcorns and pretzels. Okay, we will complete the last 2 words. Deal with. So what we will mean by deal with? If you want to using as put up with. So deal with, Badr says this, meaning that trying to talk in a crowded restaurant is difficult and annoying. And bite, which means Badr says this, meaning a small or quick meal of a snack. Explain that a bite refers to a quick or a small bit of food, not a regular meal like breakfast, lunch or dinner. Okay, the last lesson is Unit 6, talking about lost and found. This is the title of it. And according to this dialogue and conversation section between Ahmed and his friend, we found 6 words on or down of real talk section. Eating, which means bothering. Down in the dumps, which means feeling sad and disappointed. Hit the roof, which means be very angry. Bent out of shape, which means upset or agitated. Vanished into thin air, which means disappeared without a trace. So number one, eating. How can we apply that one, or what is the example for it through that dialogue? We can say that Ahmed looks like he is in a bad mood today, which means that he is what? Bothering. Number two, down in the dumps. So says I'm really down in the dumps that this class will over soon. I will miss having you as a student, which means that you are feeling sad and disappointed. Number three, hit the roof. I love going to my grandparents' house for dinner. So my grandmother cooks delicious meal and my grandfather does the cleaning up, which means hit the roof. And number four, bit out of the shape, which means upset. So we can say that last week I got really bit out of shape when I noticed that someone had scratched the side of my car. So I was angry because it will be expensive to fix. And the last word is vanished into thin air, which means disappeared without a trace. So we can say that once I lost my keys while I was out shopping, they seems to have vanished into thin air. I looked everywhere but never found them. So we can apply if you have disappeared without a trace. Okay, by the end of this slide, we found that we have a lot of synonyms or a lot of words that equal an easily meaning through real talk, but as what I said before, we can't use it in a writing task. Be careful about this point. Let's go back for the second point. So in second slide, we have exercises. We divide these exercises. On slide 2, we have from 1 to 3, from unit 1 until unit 3. According to this real talk, we can apply the exercises from your workbook through that slide. And the next slide, exercises from your workbook again, but from unit 4 to 6. Let's begin. Okay. Look at this page or this slide. So this is a workbook exercise. Unit 1, page 4. We found this exercise. They want from you to fit this real talk or words through, complete the space through this dialogue. Don't sweat it, flake, making too much of it, no big deal, slipped my mind. We found this conversation between Adam and Umar. We begin. Adam, hey Umar, did you remember to bring that book? Umar, oh no, I totally forgot. I was so busy getting all my things together this morning. That it, they give it a space, I'm so sorry. What do you think is it? We can say that it slipped my mind. I am so sorry. Number 2, or complete again for Adam's speech. Oh, it's no big deal. Maybe you can bring it tomorrow. Umar, yes, of course I can. But I feel terrible. You even called me to remind me this morning. I feel like such a flake. Adam, really? So don't sweat it. It's fine. You don't need to get upset. Umar, well, maybe I could bring it to you tonight. I can drive over to your house after football practice. Adam, you are making too much of it. If you just bring it tomorrow, that will be fine. Umar, okay. If you are sure, I will just bring it tomorrow. So according to the spaces, we found that dialogue belongs to Unit 1, and you can find more exercising about that word inside or through your workbook. Okay, exercise 2, it's belong to Unit 2, page 14. Be careful about this. They give it to you again, or the writer give you again a lot of words, and they want from you to rearrange it inside this conversation. So this conversation between Cliff and Keith. Okay, let we read the words before. Changes. Ify, no way, freaked me out, on cloud 9 and break. Cliff, is that a brain on the cover of the scientific journal? Keith, yeah, it is. You haven't seen it yet? Cliff, no, I totally freaked me out. How did he got on the cover? Keith, actually, it was break. He was at News Inventors Convention and got seated next to one of the board members, who is a kind of talent scout. You know, looking for the permission young scientists and inventors. Anyway, he would attended Brain's poster presentation at the school competition last 2 years, and though he had a lot of potential, so he asked him if he wanted to write an article and have his photo taken for the journal. Cliff, no way. What are the chances for that? Keith, I know, it's amazing. So Cliff again, he must be on cloud 9. That is so exciting. Keith, I know. And the best part is that he has been a subscriber for as long as he can remember and had been dreaming for his face on the cover, but didn't think it would even happen. Cliff, and this board member wanted Brain's photo on the cover. Keith, well, at first it was Evie, but he definitely wanted the article and a small photo of him to use with the article. But then they decided to put him on the cover. So Cliff, that is great. I'm going to call him to congratulate him. So by the end of this conversation, this is the elements word that using before through real talk, and now we already applied through that exercise from your workbook. If you want more as a necessary, you can return to your workbook. There is a lot of exercises for applying that word through it. Okay, now we will go to Unit 3 on page 24 in your workbook exercise. We have the exercise. Looking at the exercise, we have 6 words: beating around the bush, blew them away, by far, did a double take, fit to be tied on the house. So the writer wants from you to apply the words side or through the space on these sentences. Number 1, Andrew spent weeks researching and preparing the project. He really wanted to impress everyone at work, and he did. He really, what do you think is, blew them away with his presentation. Number 2, wow, is it Mark? He lost so much weight that I did a double take when he walked in the room. I almost didn't recognize him. Number 3, she was invited to makeup gathering last week. There was a sales lady there selling makeup, and she let everyone try on all different products. It was so much fun, and she even gave everyone some lipstick. On the house, they had to buy other makeup, but even that had great prices. Okay, number 4, when he saw Fahad last week, Adil got the feeling that he wanted to ask him something, but Fahad was, what do you think, peering around the bush and not being direct. Adil finally asked him what was going on, and Fahad said he wanted help with his math lessons because he was failing. 5. Last week, Ingrid bought a beautiful new dress to wear to his or her sister's wedding. She wanted to show it to her mother and sister, so she left it on the table and went to get them. When they came back, she screamed. There was her little brother with chocolate all over his hands and all over her new dress. She was fit to be tied. And the last point, in my opinion, having a healthy diet is by far the most important way to look and feel good. It's great for your skin and provides you with the energy and you need. This is the important words that we learned it already through Real Talk from Unit 3. And you found a lot of exercise in your workbook. Now we will go for Unit 4 on page 40. Make sure that you open your book on that page and follow us to recognize what we mean by that word and to write a correct answer. So we have for good, split up, set things right, bad mouthing, backstabbers, and behind your back, lips are sealed, on again, off again. We will try to fit the words again inside the sentence with a suitable meaning. Saeed and his business partner split up after an argument about working conditions in the office. Number 2, don't be fooled by some people's friendly manner. They can be backstabbers when they feel threatened. Just watch your step. Number 3, she thought Amina and Aisha were friends. Then she heard Amina bad-mouthing Aisha yesterday afternoon, says she was selfish and inconsiderate. 4, on the other hand, Aisha would never have taken behind Amina's back. She would have told her how she felt. Number 5, I can't stand these on again, off again friendships. You are either close friends with someone or you are not. You can't be friends one day and then change your mind the next day. 6, our neighbors have moved away for good. They said they would be happier living near their children and grandchildren. 7, your secret is safe with me. I don't worry. My lips are sealed. 8, if you argue with a friend, you shouldn't just end the friendship. You should find an opportunity to talk about things and set things right. This is about the Real Talk from Unit 4, and we already applied it through your workbox exercise. Now we will go to Unit 5. We have bite, deal with, elbow our way, jam-packed, munches, and ridiculously. Carol, are you going to the football game on Saturday? Fahad, yeah, I am. Are you? Carol, yes. We should meet up there. Fahad, I would really like to do that, but it's going to be jam-packed with people. Everyone going. I don't know how we will ever find each other. Carol, that is true. Well, maybe we should drive there together. Then we get there. We can elbow our way to get seats at the front. Fahad, to be honest, I am not sure. I wanted to deal with trying to get seats at the front. It sounds exhausting. Carol, well, maybe we should just meet up afterwards to get a bite. Quick and tasty burger is just down the street, and and I am always ridiculously hungry after a game. Fahad, that is a great idea. I will definitely be up for some munches too. Carol, well, that sounds good. Why don't we just meet up at Quick and Tasty after the game? Fahad, great. See you then. This is the important Real Talk through Unit 5, and you found more on the page 50 in your workbook. The last unit for our curriculum is Unit 6, and this is exercise. You can find it on page 60 from your workbook. If you need it as necessary, you can find more and extra exercises. We have bit out of shape, down in the dumps, earring, hit the roof, vanished into thin air, and what a shame. The writer want again from you that to apply these words through this dialogue. So this conversation between Fatima and Maya. So where is Tara? Maya said, she went for a walk. She is all bent out of shape because she can't find her cell phone. So she is really upset about it. Fatima, oh, what is a shame. That would make me mad too. Did she retrackle her steps? She should really look everywhere she can think of. Maya, she was looking for over an hour and she couldn't find it anywhere. It's like it vanished into thin air. We can't think of anywhere else to look. Fatima, that is so disappointing. She must be feeling down in the dumps. Maya again, it's just eating at her. She feels like she should remember where it is, but just can't find it. It's really irritating her. Okay, Fatima again, well, that is too bad. And her parents are probably going to hit the roof when she asks them to buy her a new one. Maya, that is true. That is probably make her feel even worse. Okay, by the end of our lesson today, look at this visual photo or picture. We found it have a good value for you, which means that education is the key for you to improve yourself, to learn more in your life, and so on. And by the end of this lesson, I would like to thank you for the good follow-up, and I hope to see you again. Thanks.